Sirukis, finally to this podcast of Mexican ancient tales for everyone. I hope you enjoy this because today we will be talking about a fantastic creature that is well known in all the territory of Mexico, also parts of Central America, and I'm pretty sure that if you see me from the south of the United States, you have heard of them. In this first episode, my work will consist of guiding you towards that world of knowledge that by force of oblivion, discrimination, or alienation was taken away from the people of Mexico. Only a few have been privileged, but from today you will receive the Siruki, or as the Mexica used to call it, the Tzetzahuitl. It is the preservation of our memory of the ancient ones. Stay with me and you will learn to differentiate that fine line that exists between what they forced us to think that is true and the reality that is hidden in the memory of our country. Take a seat wherever you are and pay close attention. The Tzetzahuitl is a series of events of mystical proportions that were about to occur. Together, we will learn to interpret the signs as the ancients did, and we will pay worthy tribute to our creators to carry out their will, here in the land of the living. But if you are applied, I will also guide you to the various underworlds of each culture. Let's get started, but don't forget to subscribe, share it with your family, friends, or future Sirukis who want to learn more about this mystical, magical world. Today, I will talk to you about the Nahuales. The stories of Nahuales have their origin in a very remote past, so far away, so distant, that even the Olmec culture, one of the mother civilizations of America, among 1500 years ago, there are references to them. However, there are variations depending on the civilization and region in which they are found. Numerous were the deities that were linked in one way or another with animals, either because the creative spirit was in itself one, as in the case of the god Xolotl, the dog, by its name as Quetzalcoatl, feather serpent, or Huitzilopochtli, hummingbird of the left, because of its zoomorphic attire, or because it was believed that the numen had the ability to manifest itself as an animal. The origin of the word in the language of the Aztecs is Nahuali, which means "what is my clothing or skin," and refers to the ability of a person to transform into a creature, half man, half animal. The most powerful were able to fully transfigure themselves into owls, jaguars, eagles, coyotes, snakes, bears, and even bison. Despite Hispanic attempts to extinguish them during the viceroyalty, they learned to survive. They knew how to acquire forms of those foreign animals, such as mules, dogs, horses, donkeys, and even cats. Although there is a second, lesser-known version in which, after exterminating the most cultured priests for fear that they would lead revolts, the few that remained learned badly to acquire the forms of domesticated beings. Of course, some who are assumed to be Nahuales and presumed to become beasts of burden are actually the contaminated ones, and also the impure, since those that still exist maintain their transformations into dignified beings that they impose, as in the case of jaguars or owls. For the Mesoamerican people, the Nahuals came from a lineage of priests known as Tlacatecolotl, although today we know there were more than 40 subclasses. Some could only do their transformation at night, as it is believed they were protected by the ruler of smoke and darkness, the mighty god Tezcatlipoca. Before the heyday of the great civilizations, such as the Mexica or the Mayas, you should know that northern peoples such as Yaquis, Raramuris, Seris, among many others who lived and still live today in the states of Chihuahua, Coahuila, Sinaloa, Sonora, Nuevo León, and also in the southern states of California, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona, had their own Nahuales. They believed that if a person could get to know their primal spirit, they could use it to find remedies and heal people in their town who suffered from illness or accidents. Many drawings in caves and rocks show people represented as were-bears, werewolves, and even with insectoid forms. And like everything in this world, just as there were those who promoted well-being, others were fond of causing disorder, to spread evil where they traveled. The general myth in the Aztec area said that a man or woman could shave their skin and transform into one of these creatures. That is why, in some accounts of the viceregal era, it was claimed that hunters left their properties to capture coyotes, pumas, or strange predators of enormous strength that used to steal cattle or feed on them right there and sneak in the shadows. Those who were lucky enough to aim their arquebus and wound the Nahual claimed that following the trail of blood the next morning they found a naked person lying in the grass, killed by the bullet embedded in its body. There are several theories about how this metamorphosis is achieved. Some believed that it is due to the fortune of being born on specific days. Others assert that it is due to a physical birth defect. And the wisest believe that it was a learning process in which a talented apprentice was able to see beyond the obvious. He was chosen by another Nahual who would guide him to that secret world for the common people. In the Tuxtla region in the state of Veracruz, the belief of the Nahuales is deeply rooted. It is claimed that there are people capable of transforming into giant birds and that they have the ability to fly. They come out on full moon nights, metamorphosing into turkeys, owls, or vultures. If someone comes to observe that a bird perches near a tree looking at their window for several consecutive days, they can infer that it is not something common and current, but an evil Nahual that will try to harm the inhabitants of that home. But be very careful, Siruki. If you see a vulture observing you at night, because it is most likely that it will be announcing the death of someone very young inside your house. Now, if you have enjoyed this short but very interesting story, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your family, friends, or future Sirukis, because every Sunday I will be delving into new creatures from Ancestral Mexico so you can learn more about this rich and very, very old mythology. And the most important thing, pay attention, because if you visit our country, this information will be very valuable for you. So none of these creatures caught you unaware. See you next chapter. By subscribing for $1 per month, you will be supporting the creation of new books like these two encyclopedias, which are specifically of monsters and priests of ancient Mexico. Also, you will be supporting the creation of an epic role game, soon available also in English, although the creation of new novels such as The Blood of the Gods, available in Spanish and English. Thank you very much for watching.